In this episode of She Decides, host Staci Swiderski sits down with Leanna DeBellevue, founder of DeBellevue Global Marketing and a trailblazing entrepreneur who built, scaled, and successfully exited her award-winning agency after more than 15 years. Leanna shares her unfiltered journey into entrepreneurship, from starting her company as a single mom with no safety net to growing an international client base across Dubai, London, Sweden, and beyond. She opens up about the realities of business ownership, the sleepless nights, the failures that fueled growth, and the mind shift sets required to keep going when quitting feels easier. The conversation explores what success really means, why failure is a necessary teacher, and how leadership evolves when it stops being about revenue and starts being about people, time, and impact. Leanna also dives into her post-exit chapter, where she now focuses on consulting, mentoring, accountability, and helping business owners uncover blind spots that hold them back. This episode is honest, encouraging, and deeply relatable for anyone who has ever felt the pull to build something of their own, especially women navigating ambition, family, and identity all at once. Because when she decides to trust herself, even without all the answers, everything begins to change.
You know who made it. Welcome, everybody, to our next episode of She Decides. I am your host, Staci Swiderski, and we have the lovely Leanna DeBellevue today. So she has, oh my goodness, you have accomplished so much. So she is the founder of DeBellevue Global Marketing, which you have recently sold just this year. And then you started your own consulting company. So we are really excited to learn more about you and all of your amazing accomplishments, the highs, the lows, and all behind it, what it takes to run a successful company and then to exit it. So this is going to be a really, I think, informational podcast for our listeners, and let's jump into it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy to answer any questions you have.
All right.
Lots of ups and downs.
Lots of ups and downs. Yes, this is gonna be fun. So let's kind of just start from the very get-go. Back in it was 2010, correct? When you started your marketing company. What made you decide to, one, be an entrepreneur, and two, jump into marketing?
Yeah, great question. So the one thing that got me to where I am, honestly, this is going to sound horrible, but it's 100% true, is ignorance. I had no idea how
That's
hard.
sometimes how we learn, right? You jump in with your eyes closed a little bit.
Yeah, I totally thought I can do this. Like, no big deal. The first Friday came without a paycheck, and I was like, wait, how does this work, right? Because I always worked for someone else who was responsible for making my living.
Yeah.
So it was in that moment that I kind of jumped in. I had been working in marketing for a chiropractor here locally for a couple of years. I'd found a lot of success in that. But again, it was his money, right? So it was easy to market and not.
It's easy to market with somebody else's money, right? Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So was your background before you started your company, it was in marketing?
Yeah, I fell into that as well. Everything in my life, I feel, has been very blessed and very serendipitous, right? Very divinely inspired.
Nice.
I started at the chiropractor as his massage therapist and got kind of thrown into marketing, had no idea what marketing even really kind of entailed, and was surrounded by amazing mentors at the local chamber, at local networking events. And they came alongside me, kind of helped guide me into the marketing space. And I found great success there. So,
I mean, and think about this. What year was this then? Because when you started your company in 2010, so how long were you there for?
I was there for 4 years.
Okay.
I started marketing probably 2008.
Okay.
Like late 2008. Yeah.
Wow. And just think about how different it is today, right? I mean, in terms of just the social media aspect and then the AI and everything, that we have. So, I mean, you learned a lot of that as well as all that has been introduced, in the last, 4 or 5 years.
Yes, it's been a game changer. I think when I started, Facebook still had fan pages. Like, that's how long ago it was, right? So,
do you remember MySpace? Were you?
Yeah, totally of that era, right?
Yeah. Wow. So, all right. So then when you launched your company, Did you specialize in, was it you, just you at the time? And did you specialize in anything specific, or what were your plans, and what was your, like, when did you say, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Yeah. Um, I did start in just Facebook,
Okay.
social media. I mean, at that time there was no Instagram.
Right.
There was Twitter. So I did Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Those were the three main platforms that I focused on. People told me if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I now question that theory because I loved social media, right? Um, but it definitely felt like work at some point.
Definitely a challenge, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wasn't just getting on and playing. It was honestly like helping guide people's business. So that was um,
A lot of responsibility, because you have to prove the conversions, and you have to prove what's working, why it is working, why it's not working. And then, I can assume too, like with the Facebook, I remember back then, like all the funnel pages and all of that. So it was a lot of, I'm sure, learning as you go too, right?
100%. And it was just me. I was everything from I was the content developer, I was the CEO, I was the email responder, you name it, I had to do it all. And I had a huge learning curve. Um, and it happened very quickly, right? At the time, I was a single mom. So I really didn't have a chance to think, oh, let me, kind of figure this out. It was like, I've got to figure this out. It was a lot of late nights. It was a lot of early mornings. It was a lot of failing fast. My
And I
goal,
think that's a lot of entrepreneurship, right? I mean, it's just, you are put in situations, it's like do or die, and I got to figure it out. And you
yeah,
can only really depend on yourself.
100%. And I learned very quickly the faster I fail, the faster I would find success, right? That was an amazing piece of advice that was given to me that I just kind of took into my heart and adopted.
Yeah, I feel you there. And it's like, there's no excuses. You have no excuses. Who are you going to, who you got to listen to yourself, right? So you have to just face the facts and just jump in and just be like, well, I screwed that up, I got to fix it now.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. Wow. So, okay, well, let's talk more about, I mean, you have some really strong credentials as well. You have what you won a few awards, Business of the Year, and what was it? I'm reading here, 2024 and Best Marketing Agency in the East Valley. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I
Yes.
mean, share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Phoenix is a pretty big market. I really had no idea that wasn't even on our radar. And it's voted, so you can't. It's not an award that you can purchase. I know a lot of things are pay to play.
Yeah.
It was something that the community votes on, and we were very, very honored. It just really, there was a point in business that it stopped being about me doing it all. I then had a team, and it just kind of justified um, all of the hard work that the team had been putting in for so many years. It was such an honor to get that 2024. 2025 has not been announced yet. I know we were one of the top runners in that. And then to get 2025 Business of the Year, um, it was just kind of that indication I knew that I was ready to step away. I had taken
Yeah.
from this dream to full, kind of full circle, and I was good.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's back up. So you had mentioned when you had started your company back in 2010, you were a single mom. And how difficult was that to leave, like you said, a steady paycheck to literally go on your own? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was that first Friday was really scary because I was in so much ignorance. I had no idea what business ownership meant, right? But the great thing that I had been taught over the last 4 years working for the chiropractor was how to build a business with little to no marketing dollars. Uh,
Mm,
he was very conservative with his funds, right? So I had to learn very quickly how to make something from almost nothing.
yeah.
And as much as I hated it in that moment, I was like, why can't we just spend X amount of dollars? Or why do we have to have a budget for everything? Um, that's really what helped me get to that next level. Because as a mom, you just really don't ever have the luxury of saying, I can't figure this out or it's too hard. And so I kind of in that moment realized okay, I said I was going to do this. Now, the chiropractor was very, very kind to me. He did say, you will always have a safe place to land. If this doesn't work out, you can come back. But I also have a lot of pride, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, no, I'm going to figure this one out.
Right. Yeah, like I got this. And it was terrifying. Again, extremely blessed. I went from 0 to 6 figures in about 6 months,
Wow.
based on relationships that I had. I had a friend here who called me one day and said, "Hey, I heard you're doing marketing for yourself. My brother's in Dubai. Do you work with people in Dubai?" Well, I'm working with anybody and everybody because like
At this point, hand them over.
yeah,
I need the work.
exactly. So Dubai led me to London, London to Sweden, Sweden to Canada. So
Wow.
in about 6 months, I told someone, yeah, I've got a client in Dubai and London, not to brag, but just, kind of talking about where the experience had led me. And they were like, oh, you're an international company. And I was like, no, I just work here. And they were like, no, like,
No, but you really are an international company. Well, and it's nice too when you get those first, few customers or even the first customers, you can start building those credentials, right? And it helps you get your following and then so on and so forth.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you really do got to brag it up a little bit because that helps obviously marketing and, obviously business.
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing for all business owners, myself included, but even when you have those accolades or you've accomplished those things, to tell people that you've done them, you don't ever want to sound like you're bragging.
You don't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
You're
also,
right.
and sometimes it's nice to celebrate that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you were, you had mentioned you scaled pretty quickly and it was just yourself. How long did it take you to then decide that you needed to hire your very first employee?
I was in it about 2 years, 2.5.
Okay. So quite a while.
It did. It took me a while. I think because one, I wasn't quite sure if I had the systems in place. Like when you're doing something for yourself, if you're missing a step, you just go fill that step
You
in.
figure it out. That's right. You just go fill
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah. So with an employee, I also didn't know if I could afford an employee.
Right. Yeah. Financially.
Thousands of dollars. And, here I am trying to support 2 kids and do all of the things. And so it took me about 2.5 years of probably, so my kids didn't realize I was working, because I still wanted to be there. I never missed a field trip. I didn't miss a game. I didn't miss any of the things. So I would work from when they went to bed to probably 11, 12 at night. And then I'd get up probably around 4 every morning, between 3:30 and 4 every morning, work until it was time to get them up and then work while they were at school.
Such a story of a business owner, an
Yeah,
entrepreneur, right? Starting out. Yeah. You fill in the gaps and you just work. You get very little sleep.
Yes, very true, very true. So taking that next step, it was my friends and my kids that were just like, you are exhausted all of the time. You need to outsource. And I did. So I brought in my first employee. And once I kind of got that relief, I had great advice that said an employee should pay for themselves within the first 90 days. The
That's
first
right.
90 days, it's going to hurt. Like that paycheck is going to hurt.
You got to suck it up and just, hopefully let the cards fall in the right place.
Yes. And that's exactly what happened. And then it kind of became I was like, oh, I can take a breath. Hold on. Who else do I need to hire? Who else?
You're like, oh my gosh, this is starting to get addicting now. And especially when you're hiring people who are really good, right? Because you want A players on your team, right? So then you can start to delegate and delegate more. And then you can watch how amazing they are. And you're like, oh, wow, this is pretty nice. They may actually even be a little bit better than I am at this. So I need more of them. And then it just starts to, flow
and when I
flow.
sold my company, I was the least smart person in the room. Everyone in the room, my entire team was 1,000 times smarter than I was in their area.
Yep. In their own specialized area.
Yeah, they blew me away every day.
Those are the best rooms to be in, though. They really are. The rooms that you are surrounded by these people, especially when they work for you. And you're like, wow, this is a team that is just really rocking it. And they are so smart. And you can learn from them even. And that's when I think you feel like, wow, this is success.
Yes. Yeah. Success to me used to be a dollar amount. I thought something magical would happen at 6 figures. And I thought something magical would happen at 7 figures. There's not a number. I think for me, success became watching the people that on my team succeed in their own right, to build their confidence to get to that level, for them. And then freedom of time. Time became my biggest measurement of success. Do I have time to spend with the people I love, with mentoring other business owners, with helping our team grow? It just changed.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Success to me is pretty similar for sure. It's just a dollar amount. It's just, yeah, it's great. It brings, you can afford to do things that, for your team or yourself or whatever it is. And that's great now. But at the end of the day, it's just like, wow, success is knowing that I have employed these people who are just growing and growing personally and professionally. And, they're able to take care of their family. And then I also think like freedom, right? The freedom to be able to step back and watch this and just be proud of it. And then really kind of do what you want at that point in terms of, do I want to just continue to grow this company? Do I want to maybe start another company? Do I want to exit from this company? So yeah, I think it just brings such a variety of opportunity, I think, at the end of the day.
Perfect word. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk more about, you had mentioned that you started working with your clients in other countries, Dubai, and then so on and so forth. And so you also are an international speaker.
Yes.
How exciting is that? How many countries have you traveled to? Have you done a lot also, remotely? And let's talk more about that. Share that experience or those experiences.
Yes, I did speak internationally quite often. Before COVID was in person.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changed.
Everything, yeah.
Yep. And then a lot of it was remote. I think a majority of the countries that I've spoken in the last 5 years have been remote. But I love that.
Yeah.
It's just, it opens up so much more opportunity. I can do something in 2 hours. Whereas before it would take me 2 weeks because I got to travel and all of that stuff.
So many opportunities to be able to do it literally without traveling, and you still get the same strong effect from it, right? The outcome is the same regardless for the most part.
Exactly. Yeah. Last week, I think twice I was in Australia speaking in the comfort of my own home.
And no, yep, that's the same. In your home.
No 24-hour flights, none of that. So I always speak about having the courage to fail. That's something as entrepreneurs, you really don't ever hear about. You see everyone's highlight reel, and having the courage to fail and fail quickly, I think, is what got me on so many stages because people don't talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably maybe the downside of social media, right? Most people, the majority of people will post all of their highs, right? And even those highs might be a little bit, twisted, but hey, it makes them feel good, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, definitely entrepreneurship, owning a company there's a lot of lows. There's probably sometimes more lows than there are highs, but it's really the highs are so amazing that you're willing to accept those lows, right?
Yeah. I told my husband, now I'm married, we're married, amazing guy. I told him, I said, I'm not bipolar by any means, but business ownership makes me feel bipolar. Cause
yes,
why am I doing this? This is so hard. I hate this. Then I get an email from a client that's like, I reached this goal because of you. And then I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is fantastic. Like all in the span of like an hour, it goes up and down and
That's right. You never know what kind of mood you're going to be in, or you have to really sometimes put yourself on the back burner because you're supporting other people. So you have to turn it on to be, positive because you don't want them to feel like you're a Debbie Downer. So yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it's like a bipolar type transaction all the time. But it's okay, and that's why it's not meant for everybody.
100%.
And I think as long as, you recognize that this is just the life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And it's not for everyone, and thankfully it's not, because I've needed people to be, people who invest in my dream and got me to where I was.
That's right.
So
that's right.
No that either.
They're absolutely, yeah. And I think everybody has, it's different strokes for different folks, right? Different personalities. And some people, are super successful. And again, like we said, success really can mean it's not a dollar amount. So some people come into work and that is their success. And I think that is amazing that they have their set schedule and then they're done at the end of the day. They can clock out mentally. And I mean, there's times I'm envious of that. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
An underrated perk until you're an entrepreneur. And you're like, if I could just my brain for 1 minute, right? That would be fantastic.
Right. Absolutely. So let's talk about more like what you consistently see. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So you sold your company just this past fall, and
Yes.
then you started a consulting company, correct? And is your consulting company? Tell us more about that. Is it strictly marketing, or is it marketing plus business?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be marketing. It has not touched anywhere near marketing uh, since I started it.
Isn't
It's
that
always
funny? Another unknown, right?
right. I'm finding that what business owners genuinely need is accountability,
Hmm.
and they need a safe place to kind of unload ideas or work through problems, or like I'm hitting this ceiling and I can't figure out why. Um, and it's really hard, again, to have a space that you can trust people, right? I think for me, a lot of times the people you love the most want to keep you safe. And often safety isn't taking those big leaps of faith.
Yeah, they want that they want you to have that security.
Yes, right. And if,
Hmm.
if it's a hard day, we'll just go get a job, or I just need to really kind of mentally work through this. So a lot of my consulting, I would say about 90% of it is talking through those barriers that people really don't even understand that they have. So, like identifying blind spots, helping people eliminate those. And then the accountability piece. If I tell a client or I tell staff members that I'm going to get something done, it's done. It might be done at the last second, but guaranteed I'm going to hit the deadline. I'm not going to let anyone down. Promises to myself. I break promises to myself all the time,
All the
whether
time.
yeah, I'm going to lose that last 5 pounds, or I'm going to work in my business today, or I'm going to get this next podcast scheduled, whatever that is.
Right.
Yeah, I break those promises. So I'm holding business owners accountable, and they're seeing massive growth within a short period of time because they know what to do. They just need,
It's the accountability piece. Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head for sure. Yeah, because people don't, you know, you can see your own messy, right? But when you have people that are depending on you to get to the next step, or what to do their job or whatever, you have to be accountable. So yeah, I think that's great. So you haven't really touched much on marketing yet with your consulting, and I think that's pretty cool, because I mean you have so much such a wealth of experience in business in general, what you have literally learned and accomplished. So to be able to share that with others, that's got to be pretty uplifting for you to see people continue to grow. Like you had your staff and your team, and you watched them grow, through the years, 15 plus years. But now, like you get to continue to do that with entrepreneurs.
I love it. And I honestly don't think I'm ever going to necessarily dive into the marketing aspect. Things change so quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the bandwidth to worry about what AI's come up with next, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before that, but the mindset, so often that's where business owners get stuck.
That's so true. Yeah. And I think too with marketing, it's so different over the past couple of years with, oh my goodness, with, going on live on whether you're on TikTok or Instagram, and people are marketing themselves now and they're loving it. I mean, think of all the really, it spans from all ages, but like the young entrepreneurs right out of college and some right out of high school, where they become super successful because they know technology just because they're lucky to be like, educated with it in such a early age. And they love jumping on social media and just selling their brand or whatever they're doing, or themselves. So yeah, marketing is just so different than what it used to be, right? We have the market, but everybody markets in their own unique way. And I think at the end of the day, marketing really equivalates nowadays to just consistency.
Yes, yes. And authenticity, right?
Oh, yes.
You had to do these 10 things to be relevant or to be
Mhm.
found. It's not that anymore. What's authentic to your brand? How do you show up for people? And what marketing makes sense for you may not make sense for, anybody else, but it's going to skyrocket you. And if someone tries to follow what you do, it's going to fall flat, right?
That's
So just,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So the consistency plus authenticity. And yeah, I think that is such a recipe for success for sure. Just to
For
be
sure.
yourself. Because you know what, even if you are trying to be perfect, or you're trying to do something like this competitor over here, this person over here, you're going to lose who you are. And then, and then it's just not going to be enjoyable. And then you are going to fall flat on your face because it's just, that seems like too much work. Like just be yourself
Right?
and it's a lot easier. Not everybody's going to love you either way, right? So just might as well be yourself.
Yeah, you've got it 100%. Everyone wants to know what the secret is. That is the secret right there.
Yeah, just be yourself for sure. So, we've gone over this a little bit, but what is one piece of marketing, advice that you wish every business owner understood? And that could have just been the answer right there. And it just kind of, flown out. But what do you think?
That really is the answer. It's stop
Mm-hmm.
to be like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
If you're a roofer, most people know what roofers do. Like people aren't calling you going, oh, well, what do you do? Or if you're new, people know what you do. So it's not necessarily about that. It's about what makes you unique. How can you connect with me so that I know that you're the person for me,
You're
right?
right.
That's just really in that authenticity.
Yeah, I think that's very strong. And I think, when people know that and they start doing it, and I think sometimes sometimes you just gotta, maybe you don't look your best today, but you still gotta jump on the camera. That's okay. That's okay. Not everybody they don't wake up perfect looking, right? Or filtered
Right?
out, right? We're all human.
Yeah.
But I think the more they start doing it, the more comfortable it becomes. And then they start to enjoy it so much better.
Yeah. Brands, I think, definitely need a personality behind them. Before, it was just about having a great logo and having a great website. But people want more now. They're
Yeah.
demanding more.
And they want to get to know you. They want to get to know like the behind the scenes. And yeah. People are curious.
Yeah.
So, your business, so you started it and I mean, my gosh, 15 years ago, sold it. Your children really grew up with it then. And so they got to be so, just impressed with having a mom that, you can dig in and get the work done and continue to grow something and be mega successful, but also your mom. Did you ever have any moments, and I'm sure you did, we all do, but that you felt like your kids thought, your children thought, oh, my mom she's just, all she does is work. Or, I mean, because that's such a fine balance. And I like to talk about that because obviously we really want to educate the women out there, right? And everybody, of course, but we hone into the women who, maybe they're thinking of starting a company or they're growing in their current profession and they're just at that point where it's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to take away from my children, my family time, but yet I'm pulled over in this direction. Did you ever feel a moment or a few moments or a lot of moments where you just had to you felt a little bit of guilt?
Yeah. Honestly, every day. Right? Guilt is such a real thing.
Yes.
There were times when my kids would say to me, I would be at the practice, but I'm not watching them because I'm answering emails, right? And they would be like, all you do is work. Okay, but you like a roof and you like food and you know what I mean? Like,
you like to wear cute clothes.
Right? You're not sad when we're going on vacation kind of deal. So I kind of pulled back. But then I thought that that's really not doing them a service because then they're going to think that all of this comes without work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I did was I started being really intentional and being very vocal with them, right? Like, I'm not going to pay attention at practices. I'm there physically, but you're not going to get me looking at every goal you make, right?
Right.
Like, not, but when I'm at the game, my phone will be put away, right? So there's balance, right?
Right.
Or, hey, I've got to get this done. If I can get this done, I'm going to spend the next whatever I'm going to watch you. My son, gosh, my kids are full grown now, right? My son is 25 and a dad, and then my mom, my daughter she'll be 28 in a couple weeks. And so, but at the time, my son was really into skateboarding, and and he would be like, "Come watch me do this jump." I can't, right? But I don't want to watch the same thing over and over, right? So, but just in those moments that I could be intentional. If I can have 30 minutes to do this, I'm going to give you 15 minutes of that.
Nice.
And
yeah.
I don't know if that's the right way to do it, right?
Right.
They're pretty decent humans now. So I think.
Yeah. So you did, I think you probably did just a fine job, right? You're good. You're like, I think I did pretty good.
I think that they're okay. But at the end of the day, it's about being intentional with your time and being vocal with it. Hey, this is very important. I have to get this done. I know that spending time with you is also very important. So here's how I'm going to balance it. Right. Because that taught them how to balance it once they got to be adults. Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're learning from you. You really are, you're leading the way for success. And when you're honest about it, they respect that. And maybe when they're younger, they don't quite understand, but as they get older and older, they understand it. So yeah, I think that mom guilt is something that so many women face. But yeah, I think you're right, being intentional about it and breaking it up, like you said, into the times where maybe if it's a half hour, but it's a quality piece of time that you are giving them 100% of your attention, that may mean more than spreading it all out, just being there, but not really being there, right? Mentally.
Yeah. And your kids are great. At least my kids were great at calling me out on stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'd be like, look,
no shame.
Oh no, not at all. And I would be like, oh look, we accomplished this, and they're like, yeah, but you missed this, right? I was like, oh, okay. So I had to figure it out because that relationship with them was really important.
Right.
So
but, no matter what, parents, we're not perfect. Whether you are running a business or not, nobody's perfect, and children aren't perfect, and so it's like you do the best you can.
Yeah, and I might have gotten that one piece right, but I can guarantee you I got 99 other things wrong, right? So.
And they will remember that, of course. But again, as they get older, they start to understand, especially if they become parents themselves.
Yes. And
they're
both
like,
they're like, oh, now I understand.
They're like, aha. Yeah. It's like an aha moment.
Yeah.
All right. So what piece of advice would you give to anybody who is wanting to start their own business from your perspective? What's one piece of advice? Not doesn't have to be marketing, but just in general, what one piece of advice you would give to somebody?
Your circle matters. The people that you surround yourself with matter. You are not going to get to be successful if you're around unsuccessful people. You're not going to have a positive mindset if you're around negativity. You're not going to grow if you're the smartest person in the room. Your circle 100% matters.
That is so true.
It doesn't have to be 50, 100 people. It doesn't even have to be 10 people. If you've got 3, 4, 5 people in your corner that you can trust and that are going to celebrate your wins and help, dry your tears and the losses, that is everything. At least
I think that's great. Yeah, that's always the top of my advice as well. And and as you become busier in your career, your business, and you start achieving, a little more success, I think sometimes your circle shrinks a little bit, and that's okay.
Yeah, because you do learn. Unfortunately, the more successful you become, not everyone is going to continue to clap for you.
No, and sometimes it's the people that you think should or would have, and you're surprised, but those are the ones who are not supporting you.
Yeah. Not every friendship is forever.
That's right. Family, friends, whatever. Yeah. It's just don't be surprised. And sometimes your biggest supporters are people you don't really yet know, and they're the ones that are really cheering you on. And yeah, so whatever it is, I agree with that. Keeping your circle small and at the same time, understanding it's okay to fail. I think, as people see success, I usually have a lot of failures for you reach your success. And that's just part of the climb.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely part of the climb. So let's talk more about, I know you're honored, right, in the Who's Who in America. So talk more about that. Back in 2023. Yeah. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I was contacted by Marquee saying that there were certain criteria that they have. So they have regular editions and then they have other editions that are like that feature business owners and people of influence. And so they asked if they wanted to interview me to see if I would match the criteria there. And I was very honored to be inducted in 2023. And then they included me in the regular publication as well.
Nice.
That's something that I'd grown up hearing about. Little did I ever think that was something.
Oh, how exciting. I mean, you had to be pretty honored with that, right?
Yes, for sure.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, you've been featured obviously in other publications as well. You HuffPost and oh my gosh, I'm sure you've been on a ton of podcasts too, right? Sharing your achievements and
Yes.
whatnot.
It's been a great opportunity. I've done podcasts. I think are the greatest way for me to learn as well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing them. People always ask me, why do you still do them? Because I love sharing and just that collaborative, the things that come out in conversations that I would have never thought of on my own, or just kind of, right now everything feels very divisive. When I do podcasts, a lot of times it just reminds me that we're more alike than we give ourselves credit.
I think it's so free flowing, and sometimes, it brings out something that you're like, oh, I don't know if I should have said that, but again, it goes back to authenticity, right? It's like, well, I said it and I meant it, and that's why I said it, and I think too, if you can touch one person at the end of the day, right,
100%.
and help somebody, yeah, we have this powerful, thing as podcasts, and now everybody's so busy, so they could be driving in their car, they could be doing whatever they're doing and just throw it on. And if it touched one person, I think that really is, you've done your job.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I just love it. What I do, I give the platform to, amazing women who, you share your ups and downs. And again, there's people that are listening that just maybe they need that little leap of faith to listen to somebody who's been through it, and it helps them, either decide to go for it, or maybe it's just not their time yet, or whatever it may be. But I think it's, everybody can just be themselves.
Yeah. I think, I tell people all the time, if I could do it, like I was a single mom, I had no experience. At the time, I now have my master's in psychology, but at the time I had no degree. I had nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just try it. And if I can do it, that's why I try so hard to encourage other women, especially moms, right? Like there's so many, we wear so many hats as women, to have someone come alongside you and just go, you know what, you've got it. Right.
That's right. Yeah. To cheer them on and let them know that they have the opportunity, and just don't give up. Really, just don't give up. Right. Yeah. And I think, starting before you're really ready, I don't think there's ever a perfect time to start a company or to go do what you want to do. Don't wait for that perfect time. If it's in your gut and you feel like this is just something like you can't stop thinking about, and you really want to do it, do it. It's okay, because you're gonna fall on your face, but you just got to get back up, right?
Every time. You've got it. There's no perfect time ever.
Yes, I think it's just so important. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I love to end the podcast on some She Decides 10 is what we call it. So I have 10 just fun little questions for you, really quick. Yes or no's, this or that. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Are we ready?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Okay, the first is, do you like a sunrise or a sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Beach vacation or a mountain getaway?
Beach vacation.
Okay. Coffee or wine? I know that'd be a hard one for me too.
Seeing as it's 9 and something in the morning, I'll say coffee. Or a little later in the afternoon, it'd be wine for sure.
Right. There you go. There you go. Do you like sweet treats or salty snacks?
I'm going to go sweet treat.
Oh, okay. This is a cute one. Do you like to dance in the kitchen, or do you like to sing in the car?
Oh, anyone who knows me knows I am a hardcore car singer. I have the voice of Celine Dion to Snoop Dogg to you name it.
You got the genre all over the place.
Yep, I'm on it.
So do you have a good voice, do you think?
Oh no, I'm horrible. Totally.
That's what makes it better.
Oh yeah. I don't even care. Like I own it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, a few more to go. Cozy night in or a spontaneous night out? Yeah, no. Same. Heels or gym shoes?
10 years ago, I would have said heels. Now I say gym shoes.
Same. Yeah. Do you like early mornings or sleeping in?
I'm by nature an early riser.
Yeah. I figured you were going to say that when you said sunrise. The sunrise. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, two more. A book that you can't put down or a binge-worthy TV series?
I am notorious for reality
Oh,
TV. I can do a good binge series.
yeah. Okay, last but not least, do you like big celebrations or like intimate gatherings?
Mm. If it's for other people, I want to go all out and
You
do
want to go
huge
out?
celebrations. If it's for me, definite intimate gatherings.
Yeah. I'd be with you on that one. Yeah. Well, that was fun. I always, we like to throw in some of those, this or that. Just it's
Super cute.
yeah, it's cute too. For a lot of ladies will think, oh my gosh, I had to think about that one, right? So it makes you just kind of like, oh, get to know yourself even a little bit sometimes.
I love it.
Love it. So this has been so much fun. Thank you again, and for spending your morning with us. And really, I wish you all the best with your future endeavors with your consulting. I'm sure you're going to be amazing at that as well. Do you plan to? A quick question: do you plan to be solo, or do you want to grow that into having other consultants behind you?
At some point, I will have other consultants. Right now, I just am coming off having an entire team. I need kind of a break being responsible for anyone other than me. But
Right.
And I know that will grow eventually.
Yeah, you're like, eventually this is probably what's going to happen, but right now you're enjoying it. I mean, because it's just been very recent since you've sold. So, well, again, thank you so much, Leanna. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate your time with us today. And again, good luck to you for all your future successes. You're going to do amazing.
Thank you.